Welcome to the Visitor Parking Podcast. Righteous Rides provides vans to missionaries when they're in the U.S. on furlough. We hope you enjoy this story from one of our recent guests.
Welcome to Visitor Parking. With us here is Tim. Tim, tell us a little about what brings you into Righteous Rides today.
Well, today I needed to drop off a car. I've been driving around for the last year. Almost 35,000 miles later, we brought it back.
How was your home assignment for the past year?
It was pretty uneventful. A lot of driving, of course, like I just said, but it was, pretty relaxing, actually.
That's good. I'm glad that you were able to rest through that time. You mentioned earlier that your daughter spent the last year at college and now you're saying goodbye and things like that. Do you have any advice for parents who are going through something similar, or just walk us through that process?
Yeah, if you want to drive your kid nuts, live super close to the campus she's going to. Like we did. We didn't know we were going to do that, but it just happened to be that way. And then we're only 45 minutes away, and she goes, "Oh no." She said, "Yes, we're going to be there every week, Michaela." Because our daughter is pretty much an independent person. She likes her independence, so we gave that to her. And she's doing really well. Because of her independence, we let her grow up, and she had to deal with some things. Seeing America really for the first time in her life, living here now, not just on furlough. She's here. And she called back and said, "Dad, what about this? What is going on with this country?" And I said, your guess is as good as mine, because I've been out of the loop for so long, it's very hard. But trying to walk through her, even biblically with that, and making sure she stays true to her convictions of the Bible, which she has done very well. If I can brag a little bit.
Thanks for telling us a little about that process. You also mentioned earlier that you've had some different experiences with vans, maybe not through Righteous Rides. What was that like?
Righteous Rides was nice to have a van that was worked the entire year. That always hasn't been the case.
Okay.
Last furlough, we borrowed a van, and it was great that people loaned us their van. But twice the whole computer in it went out.
Wow.
Once while we were home, which was nicer. So we just had it towed to the garage. It's no big deal. Second time, we were in Podunkville, South Carolina, and on a weekend, and tried to find even a car to rent to get down to the church we're supposed to speak to, and we had to travel. It was a mess trying to fit that. So we rented a car, finished our trip to Florida, then came back up, and the car was almost finished.
Wow.
So I had to sit there and wait for it to be finished, put a new computer in, and they did it, and so we were able to get back. So that's always a caveat when you talk about vehicles for a furlough. Not everybody has a vehicle. If you have family, to keep your vehicle and doing stuff, that's great. And a lot of missionaries do that now. But it's nice to have something like Righteous Rides as well that we know is there, as long as they have enough vehicles for everybody.
Yeah. I'm glad that we were able to provide you with reliable transportation for the last year. What are you looking forward to going back to Niger in the next?
Oh my goodness. Lots of stuff. Street food.
Okay.
If I can be superficial there. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, all of our Nigerian friends, all of our relationships we've built over the last 15 years, and just jumping back into ministry full time.
Okay.
We were in it sort of on furlough here and there, but because we had to travel so much, we're in and out of it because of our schedule is so up and down. But now that we're home, we can settle into our house, and we don't have to travel anywhere except just our city. So we don't have to go places. We just meet with people, talk with people, encourage people, hopefully, and share the gospel.
That's amazing.
So,
How can we be praying for you as you enter back into a different culture?
Oh, my goodness. Well, lots has happened over this last year. So pray for a good transition that we're going to need to have. It's obviously settling back into our house, moving back in, and getting everything out of storage that's in there now. And for this new school year, I'm going to go back into the classroom. I haven't taught since 2004.
Wow.
So I'm going back into the classroom for the first time.
Congratulations.
I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. And I think it's going to be a good thing. But it's going to be a lot more work than I had before. plus all the other work I have to do. It's so a good transition, be a great thing to pray for.
Absolutely. We'll be praying for that. Thank you so much for coming on the Visitor Parking Podcast.
Thank you very much.